What would you say to Jacinda Ardern?
Why? We are hurting. We are here. Sorry. Listen to our voices. We are here. We need help. And all you do is turn a blind eye. Please answer. Why?
You prided yourself on growing up here in Murupara. You actually came to Murupara. You did not bother to come to the only general practice provider in this area, in a 70-kilometre radius, to have a discussion as to why either there may be a low vaccination rate in this area or what our position was in relation to COVID. That was very, very disappointing.
And you talk about beds, but who's going to care for the people in those beds? You just sacked 400 nurses. Why was that a good idea in a health pandemic?
I just had a phone call from the dentist surgery, the Thames Hospital. They told me that my daughter, who needs dental surgery, is 4 years old. That's her second dental surgery. She will not be able to have dental surgery because she does not have a vaccinated parent to take her.
I think you need to think again about what good leadership means in the context of people.
Making Bernard unemployed is literally killing people in our small town.
Why in 2 years you haven't done anything to the health system except sack health workers?
How many times have people been back to hospital because of their vaccine injuries? How much is that costing? There's no talk about that.
Jacinda Ardern, I just want to say that you're losing your doctors, your nurses, your good citizens, your law-abiding, tax-paying citizens that are doing everything to make this country better. You're wasting precious skills that take many years to develop, and you're going to regret it, if not now, then many years later.
Has saved my life in the past and several of my family members. So that's what you're taking away from us.
There's a really good quote that says, imagine a vaccine so good you have to mandate it. For a virus so deadly you need a test to tell you whether you have it or not.
Jacinda, Prime Minister of New Zealand, I would like you to take a moment and think about all the lives that you've wrecked since you've pushed this mandate since 2019.
If they encounter a major safety issue, are they going to have the courage to speak up? Or are they going to see the likes of our 3 doctors who have been suspended for allegedly misinforming people?
Why are you doing this to us? Why are you doing this to, not only to nurses and doctors, teachers, teacher aides, healthcare workers, firefighters? I mean, firefighters, they're willing to go into a burning building, but they're not willing to have the fires. Why is that?
Why? What's the end game? What do you expect to gain from mandating an experimental medication on the population of New Zealand?
Why are the Health and Safety Acts being trampled over the Employment Relationships Acts under the guise of COVID? Can Māori iwi, Māori wardens, Pacifica elders and police now enter our houses warrantless, seize, take anything?
What the hell's going on here? What are you doing? This is New Zealand, Aotearoa. And I just can't imagine it, Why do we have to have this? Doctors and medical people, who are just being negated, who are just being absolutely freed of the ability to practice white, normal life. It's a crime. It's just a crime.
You promised us a lot when you were elected as our Prime Minister, and you've actually delivered nothing. You've not helped child poverty, you haven't helped the homeless, you haven't actually done anything for the health of New Zealanders.
the official people are not recording the data and the information. So in Morgan's case, she was admitted with a suspected myocarditis, pericarditis, but her incident hasn't been recorded. For us to get it recorded, we have to make that submission. And if you as a layperson make the submission, it has less credence than if a medical professional makes that submission.
This is on her for forcing this on people and brainwashing people. Rory had screenshotted a government or a Ministry of Health article online about myocarditis an hour before he died, and it said myocarditis is usually very rare, a rare side effect from the vaccination, and in most cases is very mild. If that wording was different, we may have went to hospital right then and there when he read that, and he might be alive right now.
I sent an Official Information Act to you that Sue Gray forwarded. I sent it to the Minister Hipkins, and Sue Gray forwarded it through to you. I wanted to know the details of the contracts between Pfizer and the New Zealand government. I believe that there's a lot more that you're actually holding on to. You're being paid by people outside of this country.
Like when I go past now a graveyard, I actually salute to the graveyard because I say to myself, I'm there for you guys. You fought against communism, you fought against Nazism, oppression, dictatorships, all of those things. And they would be absolutely horrified to be seeing what's unfolding here in New Zealand.
What's happening at the moment is an attempt to control the population. The whole thing comes down to a government that's unmandated, the move towards centralisation, which ultimately takes you to a form of communism.
They're trash. Yeah.
They're trash. Why are they trash?
Because she's ruining everyone's life.
We cannot attend 2 weddings, and my wife, Ross, struggles will probably not be able to see her mother in a rest home because we're unvaccinated.
My message to you is that we will not accept communism in this country or Nazi-style activities in this country, and you will be made accountable along with Andrew Costa.
Jacinda, if you're watching, you've seen our youth, and you've seen how we are today. We like to be active, and you're stopping it from the vaccines.
I've emailed you about my issues, and I've told you that I've reported to CARM numerous times, but your receptionist told me in the reply if I have reported to CARM, which tells me that nobody read anything I wrote.
Come meet me. Come see my phone full of people that are vaccinated, injured and suffering. Come see your people who you say that it's a good reaction. If they have a reaction, it means that the vaccine worked. Well, stuff you, because my child is still in a frickin' wheelchair, having seizures on a daily basis, and so many other things going on with her still 4 months later. Stuff you, Jacinda Ardern.
Yeah, I don't want to get vaccinated. Just leave me alone. Leave our people alone.
And yeah, okay, I got vaccinated because they told me they would fire me. That's what they said to me, that I would be fired and my security card would not work anymore. So the last day possible, I went down and I cried at the chemist. I haven't cried like that for a long, long time.
I understand from my research that the statistics for a child under 19 to be hospitalised with COVID is the risk is 2 in a million. 2 in a million. And here we are giving them a vaccine that apparently doesn't work longer than 3 months. I can't see the sense in that.
Within our family, you've divided unvaxxed and vaxxed. It's a crime, and it's just creating more and more problems.
And don't call it a vaccine, don't honour it. It's not a vaccine, it's an injection. They know what they're doing, it's an injection. Yeah. So be injection free. And stop right now. Stop the mandates and stop injecting.
And all they want to go to is sports. All they want to go to is all these different type of things that you're stopping from this vaccine.
terrible, terrible decisions. And to say that somebody can't work if they don't have it is just the most shocking thing that I never thought the country would come to this.
Tell the truth. Okay, what is this all about really? Okay, we keep explaining everybody that it's a virus. Well, the virus and the vaccine have the same injury model. It's a shared injury model. What's going on? We're not all silly.
Jacinda, you're attractive and you're beautiful, but your inner body is evil. You've pushed this onto these people of New Zealand, and it's not right.
These are you Kiwis. These are our other New Zealanders, you know. Young people too. The injuries they're suffering. Really, everyone's asking, how can you sleep at night? Really, you know, what are you doing to us? You stop and think, and please stop it at once.
I just want help. We need help. We're not anti-vaxxers. We got the vaccine, and we did it for our loved ones, for people around us, for the public.
I'm very, very uncomfortable of having two classes of people. One class that because they've had a jab can do X, and the class that haven't had the jab can't.
Since she came into our rohe, when she went into our building, right, the runanga, we, the people, haven't even been able to sit with our leaders, right? We, our people, can't even hui up with our leaders. We've been ditched because they chose her. These are the ones that are all in pushing this jab. What's wrong with everybody?
We would like to know the truth. You say the vaccine is safe and effective, for example. I say it is not safe and it is questionably effective.
I know more people that are harmed from this vaccine than I do that have had any issue with COVID. We've had treatments stopped that are proven to work. There's more and more studies coming out that have been proven to work.
We're not calling them what they are. It's vaccine injuries. When people like me sit here and we talk about our experience, for someone who's actually been through that, it's not an experience, they are a victim of this vaccination.
But the fact that she's picked this vaccine, which is highly expensive, huge amounts of adverse effects. There were over 32,000 people that commented on the post where she put up about adverse effects, and then she deleted thousands of them. How dare she?
Why telling us the vaccine is safe and effective when there's so little understanding about the effects of the vaccine and the damage it can cause?
They're not a side effect. They aren't a byproduct. They aren't a number. They are people with injuries that have affected their lives. How many people now cannot work because they took a vaccination so that they could work? How's the irony in that?
Lives are being lost, you know, and even though they're still looking at the coroner's reports or they're still saying it's not related to the vaccine, but what about all the ones that it's proven that there's serious side effects? It's proven, you know, it's proven that these are serious side effects to Pfizer. Why are we not stopping it? Why are we not stopping this vaccine? Something's wrong.
There are people out there right now who are hurting, really, really hurting. People like me, we did what you asked us to do. We got the vaccine. We got damaged. Please accept and acknowledge our existence and protect us. You're forcing us to go out and get the second vaccine by refusing us exemption potentially, or we have to live this unvaxxed life.
You know, we put you there, and what are you doing for the people that are injured like this? Nothing. We're not even getting an acknowledgement now.
We just need you, Jacinda, to acknowledge we exist, or else we'll never get help.
We've got no aftercare plan, no follow-up plan, no nothing. Nothing whatsoever.
I beg you to not listen to those people around you or step down.
There are so many questions, there are so many risks, and there is no safety net. We need a safety net.
By now, I don't even request any sort of acknowledgement. I just want treatment. I want to know why there's no plan B, why there's no safety net.
What would you say if she was standing in front of you instead of me?
I want her to resign.
Yeah. Why?
She's a bad leader.
I think that she's actually nothing but a mean bully.
No, it's not right. It's not right. Not for kids. It's not right. Not at all. Not at all. Not at all. As a mother, not at all. No. No way can I imagine a child going through this. I couldn't. It's not right. It's not right. No. No. No.
Why are you doing this to us? I do not want my kids to grow up in the world that you're controlling. This has got to stop, man. This is nuts.
We need to come together, Jacinda. You need to do the right thing by us, for the people, because we're starting to get sick of this. Not only is it affecting adults, it's affecting our teenagers and our children.
But I don't want to see any more of our children being hurt or injured. These are our future.
My body is mine. My views and my beliefs are mine. And I control that for myself. Also at the moment for my kids as well. I don't want them being injected with something that we don't know what the repercussions are just yet.
Our children's lives are at risk. Our next generations are at risk. And everything that we are about as Māori people, as New Zealanders, is going down the drain. And it's all because of you.
Stop this madness. You are killing people. You are ruining people's lives. Suicides. You're murdering people. Stop doing it. We're parents. I've got children. My child can't even go and get her licence. I've got a Down syndrome son of 12 years old. He wants to wear a mask at school because everyone else is, and I refuse him to wear a mask.
I would just like to ask Jacinda Ardern, how do you sleep at night? And now with the children, it's genocide.
How dare you? You know, like, you're manipulating your own people. Yep. You've betrayed your own people. You've manipulated your own people. You're a mother, and yet you're doing this to children knowingly and willingly.
How absolutely dare you put our children at risk? And not just our children, even somebody who's in their 50s is somebody's child.
And my auntie actually asked me if I could say she doesn't know why you named your baby Te Aroha, because everything you're doing and leading is everything but aroha.
How would she feel if Neve had as many issues as our children did and needed her mother 24/7 to keep her alive, and she was put in this position? Support your family, to keep your kids alive, to keep everything going. You have to risk death.
All I have to say to Jacinda is you suck. I'm the lady, when you came to Murupara, right, to our black building, Ngāti Manawa Runanga, I was the one who protested, and I was the one who told her, you jab your baby first, lady.
How would you feel if this was your daughter that was being treated like this?
I feel sorry for your daughter.
She has a mother like you that is just forcing this. You're not even fit to be a mother. And how dare you think of yourself as a mother of this nation? You are nothing like that.
We haven't had one death of a child here from COVID. And we personally know a family that's had a child that's been immune compromised and come through with just flu-like symptoms. It's not worth it.
We are all gathered here as one whānau, as one people, as one family, to say that we do not want our children mandated, we do not want ourselves mandated, we want events to be opened up, we want to be moving around, we would be working if we could.
Go get yourself a different job, Jacinda.
She's gone down the path of vaccines, vaccine, to the point where it's mandated. Booster. She said there would be no mandate. She lied. Since when? My whole life, I've never, ever seen a leader of the country blatantly lie to our faces. That myself is justifiable enough to kick her out.
People are starting to wake up. People are banding together. People are realizing that you've lied to them this whole entire time. And if you don't drop these mandates, more and more people are going to unite. And it's going to be too out of control for you to contain. So I suggest that you drop these mandates immediately and have us go back to normal the way it should have been this whole entire time.
There's so many people that are going to be devastated when they find out that their trust was misguided, because there's so many people that still don't believe what you're doing. It's got to stop. And lifting the mandates is not enough.
Just stop the mandates and give people their freedoms back, and do not enforce this as part of the political system in New Zealand right now.
Stop these mandates, because it isn't helping anyone. It's just making people feel really bad, and so many people have died from suicides due to these bad mandates.
Mandates, they're not a one-size-fits-all. I wouldn't have to get this done if we didn't need to be paid to have this help. And it wouldn't matter to anybody. I'm not affecting anybody else's life. I'm not a risk to anybody. Why are we being mandated? Why am I being mandated when it's sickening?
When we had this reaction, we're swept under the rug. We're treated like we don't exist. We're treated like we're some sort of disease or parasite or just liars.
It took Ashley Bloomfield until, was it October or November of this year, to actually admit that myocarditis and pericarditis were actually an issue.
People have lost their homes. The impact on relationships. You are tearing the heart and soul out of this country. And I have no respect for you whatsoever. Not one person in this building deserves my vote, and not one person in that building will get it. I will be looking elsewhere for a leader who actually stands tall and has the good of the people in their heart. I'm done with you. I'm done with this.
We are a people of our own right. We don't need no leader down there telling us what to do. We've been doing it a lifetime. All of us here, Galatea, Murupara, the hills, you know.
I would say be kind. Open your eyes, because there's people out there struggling. There's people out there hurting. There's no exemptions. You're not allowing for exemptions. Where's my exemption? How sick do you have to be to get a pass from this?
Your whole thing is be kind. Where's the kindness in vaccinating people knowing that the vaccination you are advocating is doing this much harm? How is that kind?
My talents are all gone. My body feels like it's slowly wasting away. I can't even cook for myself, let alone do things like look after my garden or clean my house.
How can you do this to the people of your country? How can you do this to us all? You should feel ashamed. This is not how you treat people. This is not how you create a healthy environment. Not once have you talked to us about health and how to stay well. Not once have you acknowledged the harm that is happening to people, to families, that people are forced out of their livelihoods and out of their careers and can no longer put food on the table.
You can't push people into a corner and make them feel like they can't stand up for their rights and for their freedoms and for their freedoms of choice. And we shouldn't have to put something in our body to feel like we have the right to be heard and the right to live.
It's not fair. There's people out there really struggling every day in pain. Like every day I'm in pain. I can't look after my family. You know, be kind. She needs to be kind.
I think I just don't understand. If you can see that it is ruining this many people's lives, and if you can see the effect that it's having on people, you're pretty much sacrificing the young for the old, you know.
Be careful with what you do, because you are hurting a lot of people right now in many, many, many ways, and that may just catch up with you.
I don't have any kind words for her. She's a nasty little critter. She needs to be dealt with. She needs overthrowing. Her and her little turd mates, you know, all these ones that are now getting picked on because people are starting to wake up. The truth is starting to run around out there. Hence why New Zealand is up in arms.
I just sincerely pray that the Lord would open your spirit and that He would extend His grace to you, and that you would humble yourself and get on your knees and repent for the lies that you have shed over this country and the destruction you're doing to the lives of many, 5 billion people.
Jacinda, what you need to do is you need to take stock of the amount of people who are reacting to this, okay? The game's up. Stop playing games. Stop trying to link with your international friends and try and terminate the population of every country. We know what you're doing, okay? We're not stupid, and we have the evidence. Now, you should be quaking in your boots because we do have the evidence.
I don't feel like you're in control of this anymore, and I don't feel like you have much of a choice anymore. But look around you, you're ruining people's lives. I know you didn't start off this way, but you're literally ruining our lives right now.
If you want to represent New Zealand, you have to represent New Zealand. You're actually there for the people, and that is all you're there for. If you can't do the job, hand in your resignation, do us all a favour and let somebody else take over.
You were born and raised a Kiwi. You tell us that you worked in a fish and chip shop. Like, you must have looked around you when you're working there, you know, and see what real Kiwis are up to. And we are suffering right now. And you're destroying families and generations. We just want our normal lives back. We want the Kiwi way back. And we want that to start today.
It's all about you protect those that you care for and that you love. And as a Prime Minister, you are the one that should be looking after your people.
And you're not for the people, you're not for our people, you're not for tangata whenua. You don't care. You never went out to Ihumātao when there was those protests happening, but you put on the veil of the Muslims and you stand for those people. But what about us? What about the Māori people of this land? You don't even care. You don't even care.
If I have to stand strong for others, I will. Listen to me. I'm a human. We are human. We are hurting, and we deserve compassion. This division will not help us. It will harm us. Help us.
I just hope there's more compassion and more thought for us. And same with the media in New Zealand, the mainstream media, just anyone that has a heart to stand up for this and
You know, COVID-19 is not exactly as dangerous as you portray it to be through your media channels and mainstream media. You've been lying to us, your politicians, your people in cabinet have been lying to us for a very long time. We're starting to clue on now. We've been seeing your interviews. We've been seeing your press conferences. You're looking very stressed, you're looking very frail, and I can see the pressure and the panic in your face.
With your constant shutdowns of the hospital system, you've pushed back cancer therapies, you've pushed back leukemia therapies and diagnoses. And so all of that, all of those people's bodies and blood is on your hands and yours alone.
She does have blood on her hands, yeah. If you're continuing to roll this out onto the people of our nation.
You had the opportunity to be one of the greatest prime ministers this country has had. But the unmandated decision you've taken to divide us in all aspects of our lives will lead to you being the worst prime minister we have ever had. And history will judge you.
Jacinda, we don't like you. I have to say that I put up a post on Facebook to say, probably about 3 weeks ago, to say that Jacinda's probably going to go down as one of the most hated prime ministers in all of New Zealand history.
Just how do you sleep at night? You're not working for us. You're clearly working for yourself. Otherwise, you'd be doing something, and you're not.
Jacinda, I don't know how you can be doing this to the people of New Zealand. I don't know how you sleep straight in bed. People have lost their lives. There are suicides. People have lost their jobs when they don't need to lose their jobs.
What you are doing and what is happening and what you are allowing to happen is absolutely criminal. It is crime against humanity.
I don't know how much money I've lost, Jacinda. It's beyond count now. It's ridiculous. I work in the events business. What events do I have on? Every time I set something up, it's either delayed or cancelled. And now I find myself working in a job that I don't agree with, saying things to people that I don't want to say, but I have to because I'm afraid. Because I walk around in fear.
I just pray that, that's my prayer, that God would extend His grace to you, Lord, to you, Jacinda. It's an absolute disgrace.
This division has just got to stop, and it's out of control, and you'll go down for this. I really believe that.
And your politics, being a prime minister in a government, is not about that for you. It's just about power and forcing this stuff on people.
You suck, and New Zealand is about to scream that in your ears. Choke on that, Jacinda. Peace.
You think that you've insulated yourself on the backs of all of the businesses and workers in this country. You haven't. And we'll get you, no doubt at all. And I'm talking about in court. I'm not talking about any physical thing. I'm talking about a spiritual thing, because the law itself will not be dishonoured either, okay? We will get you, and you will pay the price.
Jacinda, stop this. Hear the voices of the people. Be true to your heart and really change what you're doing. You move across that line. Be one of us.
Why are you making people do this? It's their choice. Why are you taking their choice away? If you can't guarantee the safety of people's lives, why are you doing this?
Just be truthful with the people. You know, you're selling your people out financially. You're making money by selling your people out. It's treason. You know, you will be prosecuted. This won't. History's going to judge you harshly.
How can you live with yourself? There's no way you don't know what's going on. You're really going to sit there and say that you don't know that there's all these injured people? That you have to know.
Just stop the lies. Let's have the truth.
And I think it is good for you to come out and tell the truth, because God and Jesus still love you.
I just wish we could get help. And yeah, any sort of medical intervention for us would be nice.
I don't want to swear, but you're shitting on an entire nation. And the people that are still don't realise what's going on, they'll soon learn.
Do you know, I actually got to a point where I started thinking about what I would need if I was to run in the night from my home. I actually got to a point where I started thinking about what supplies I would need to buy, where we were going to go, and how we were going to get there, and how long we would have to hide for. I actually thought that. And I've stepped through that, and I will not run. I will stand and fight, and I will not see you or tolerate you doing this to us any more. No more.
Just straight up, just leave us alone. Piss off. Go to it.
Can we give it to you?
Go get yourself a job. The revolution's happening, and people know it.
Praise God that I'm speaking to you now and not as the lady that I was before Christ came into my life, because there would be cursing and everything coming out. But come to my house. I'll even make you a cup of tea and put out some biscuits, but come and see for yourself with your own eyes what my husband goes through every day. He's fading away. The shaking is making him lose so much weight. He's not the man he used to be. And you need to see that for yourself.
I just want to say that it's time for us that are going through all this stuff, adverse reactions or similar, worse. Time for us to get together and unite. Time for us to stand. It's time for us to let our voices be heard. I may be unable to do stuff with my body, but I have a voice. We all have a voice. There's so many suffering out there. I done a live last week, thousands of hits, and there's thousands of people messaging and texting that they need help too. So this is my new walk of life. This is my new mahi, is to stand and stand proud for all Kiwis, all New Zealanders. Time for us to stand together and take on the bully. Kia ora.
Te aroha, te whakapono, e te rangi mari e tātou e.